Sorry about that. Okay, so point number 2. When we imitate Paul and other mature Christians in the faith, we are not acting as enemies of the cross. Before we move on to that point, I do, though, want to just mention something that Paul says here, and it says, "For many of whom I have often told you, and now tell you, even with tears, walk as enemies of the cross of Christ." I just want to take a moment and realize that Paul is hurting for the people who do not believe. He is hurting that they do not know him. And some people think that maybe these people who he's talking about are Christians, or they walked away, or they were never Christians, or we don't actually know exactly who he's talking about here. But no matter who he's talking about, he is sad. He has tears in his eyes that they are not walking with Christ. And I just want to mention that because it is so important for us to be praying for them, to be crying for them, and to be loving them. But yes, so let's get back to it. When we imitate Paul and other mature Christians in the faith, we are not acting as enemies of the cross. So, who are enemies of the cross? Well, Paul here is talking about people who are manipulating the cross, people who are destroying it completely. He could be talking about Judaizers, people who want people to still follow the rituals that the Jewish customs had. And that's not what Christianity is about. Christianity is about freedom and how we do not need to do those things anymore to be right with Jesus. So those are the people who are enemies of the cross. People who, so the next phrase is, their God is their belly. So what exactly does that mean? Their God is their belly. At first I was thinking that maybe it was selfish desires. They were led by their desires. But then I thought about it, and this kind of goes back to who Judaizers are. They want you to eat a certain thing, the Jewish dietary rituals and all those things. So, once again, going back to people who are manipulating Christianity. And then it goes to say, they glory in their shame with mindsets on earthly things. Their minds are not on God. Their minds are on here and now. They are thinking about perishable things. They're thinking about things that are going to fade away. But as Christians, we do not need to worry about that because our lives, yes, are here now, but we have an eternity with Jesus Christ. And in there, nothing is going to perish. And having our mindset on things that are of this world will not only bring us sorrow, but they are going to be destroyed at one point. And the things that are to come will be forever. So, the people who are enemies of the cross are people who are manipulating Jesus Christ's story, his what he brought, Christianity. So I ask you again, why do we act differently than the rest of the world? Why does it seem like life is harder? We act differently because we are set free compared to... we are set free and we are set free from our sins. We do not need to follow in our desires anymore because we have been set free by Jesus Christ. Why are we different? Why does it seem like life is harder? Life is harder because we're humans and we want to live in the here and now, but we know that better things are yet to come. We think about the here and now and we worry about those things, but that's not what this life is about. This life is about glorifying Jesus, and that is going to come when we die. And it's just hard because we want to be in the here and now because it just seems so much easier than thinking about the future. So, how do we apply this to our lives? We live for Christ, we live in freedom, and we live by faith. These are all very vague applications, but we can apply this to so many aspects of our lives. We live for Christ. We obey him. We follow the Spirit. We live in freedom. Because of freedom, we do not need to give in to the temptations that our sinful desire wants us to have. We can give it to God, and he can take that from us. And we can apply this to our relationships with a guy, girlfriend, or boyfriend. Or we can apply this to even a test, not cheating on the test. Or we can apply it to work and just doing a better job than what we're doing because we're cheating ourselves. But yeah, and we can live by faith. Like what we saw in Paul's life, he lived by faith, and so many amazing things happened through what God was doing in him. If we're living by faith, these things can happen to us. Live by faith by choosing the job that you want to have in the future. Live by faith by when you get those options, you don't rely on what you want to do, but you rely on what God has put on your heart to do. And next point, our citizenship. At the time, the Philippians themselves were citizens of the Roman colony, and that means that they were looked upon differently than other colonies. It's similar to, but not exactly the same, like Americans. We are a strong country, and people do look at us differently, whether it's good or bad. And so they had a lot of pride in being in the Roman colony. But Paul wanted them to have more pleasure from being a citizen of heaven than being a citizen of the Roman colony. So, my mother is Chilean through and through. She longs to be home. Her heart is in Chile. She misses the familiarity. She misses speaking Spanish. She misses her family. On a regular basis, she talks about how Chilean she is. And that longing that she has is something that we should have for heaven. And I know personally, I don't have that longing most of the time. Most of the time, like I said, I'm thinking about the here. I'm thinking about maybe 5 years down the road, but I'm not thinking about after I die. And when I do think about it, it's awesome, but I don't think about it enough. And yes, so that longing that my mother has for Chile is something that we should have for heaven. And why should we have that for heaven? Because in heaven, we are going to have glorious bodies. We have pain in this world. We have hurt. We have sermons that we have to give, and it's stressful. But in heaven, all of these things are going to be wiped away. We're not going to have sin to hold us back anymore. Everything will be complete. It will be perfect. And this earth will fail. We will hurt. But when we reach heaven, we will have bodies with no more sin, no more pain. We will be with God and in his glory. So why do we act differently than the world? Why do we imitate those who have gone before us? Why can't we just be like everyone else? Because our eyes are fixed on Jesus. Because those who have gone before us have shown us how to live by faith. Because we will someday have glorious bodies that will not be destroyed. I want to end with 2 verses from a song by Tripoli. So death may attack her, but death cannot have her. So she tells her family, don't worry anymore. When she's gone from her body, she'll be present with the Lord. Her body will be raised. So much glory is in store. I don't know about you, but I can't wait till the day when I'll be with my Lord and everything is okay. I'll be just like him. My sin won't be in the way. Basking in his glory. That is where I want to stay. Circumstances can't change the way that I feel. Joy of my Savior that Satan can't steal. Because he's been defeated, that is a deal. The real good life, I can't wait, please save me soon. Until then, I'll be praising in the waiting room. Fighting by his grace, can't wait to embrace by the groom. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus. Let us live by faith and know that one day we will have glorious bodies that will not be destroyed.
Amen.
Oh yeah, there's people still here.
Yay! I think.
Oh, you're not.